Hello world of YouTube and welcome to my next discography review. This time around I'm reviewing the band Skindred, and if you've never listened to Skindred, I'm not surprised. They weren't very popular over here in America. I know I have fans on the other side of the world. Hopefully you guys have heard of Skindred. But if you haven't heard of them, they're a band that blends heavy music, reggae, and electronica, kind of. That's more so on the later releases, but they blend those three genres into this mixture of awesome. I'm a huge Skindred fan. I got into them a few years ago and just got, all their albums. There's only 4 of them. If you think that my review intrigues you enough to go check out the band, as always, I have links to my favorite songs in the under thingy. They're an awesome band that I feel should be much more popular over here in America. Their latest release hasn't even been released in America, but I'll talk about that more when I talk about that album. Like I said, only 4 of them. This will not take me that long. Why don't we go ahead and get started? Now, the first album they released was called Babylon, that was released back in 2002, and there's actually 3 versions of the album. The 2002 version, the 2003 version, and the 2004 version. All with different track listings. I have the 2002 version, so I'm going to be reviewing that. I don't know the other songs that are on there. Some are mixed up and all that kind of stuff. But, this album is a great start for them. It kind of shows a lot of where they go in their career. The electronica isn't as prominent, but like songs like Selector and Set It Off show that metal reggae fusion in the choruses, while songs like World Domination and Nobody show that in the verses, the metal reggae. Like it's kind of flipping the formula. There's some just heavy songs like Bruises that focus more on just a bounce, which this song has a great bounce to it. You have songs like Together. You have a song like Together that is very creepy in a way. Like it's got this kind of dark, creepy weight or sound to it, and the instrumentation on this album is just so solid. Benji goes nuts. Like he's doing the reggae vocals, he's doing the reggae growl, he's doing just the straight up growl, he's doing noises like Jonathan Davis. I mean, he's going all over the place. He's going fucking nuts. It's awesome. It's not my favorite album by theirs, but this is a really great first release. Really, the 2 places that it dips for me are on the songs Kiss and Make Up and Sicker. They seem kind of basic, very kind of just blank. Not really a lot of personality to them, it feels like. The chorus to Sicker is great, but the rest is kind of meh. Another song, the title track, Babylon, is kind of meh. It's very rap-rooted, but not like in a good way. And, I mean, some may like that. It's just not for me. This is probably their most popular album over here, with the song Nobody was like the big single over here, and that's a great song. It's not my favorite, but it's really good. My favorite song on the album is actually Selector, because I love their whole aggression with the big chorus. Like the song Selector and Bruises really push their sound forward to where they become this bigger sound. And the most interesting track on here is the song The Fear, because it's this ballad song, and it's really well done, and it has this really chill guitar, very laid-back sound with some really interesting electronic drums in there. The hidden track on mine was Vampire Killer, which is very electronic-based, very crazy, awesome, and it was a nice little hidden gem at the end of the album where Benji's just going nuts over these electronics. My favorite song, like I said, is Selector. And the second album they released was called Viralrak, which was released back in 2007, and this is the album that actually got me into the band. I heard the song Trouble, which is still one of my favorite songs of theirs, and it's my favorite on this album, but, I mean, this album takes your sound and just shoots it through a funnel, like a lot of second albums do. They kind of progress the band sound into a bigger sound. And this touches more on the electronics on tracks like Destroy the Dance Floor, but it's still not like the forefront of the album, or it's not as shown as it is on the even more later releases. But this album just kicks out of the gate with a track like Viralrak Riot, which is kind of like a hype track for the band, and they do a better job of blending the reggae and the heavy on tracks like Trouble and Cause a Riot, kind of, and Rude Boy for Life. Rude Boy for Life kind of being like together this creepy ballad, not creepy ballad, but like this creepy tinge song. You have songs like Alright, which focus more on creating this kind of alternative reggae sound. Songs like Alright, State of Emergency, and Rap Race all do that. There's some tracks where Benji's going nuts, like on Spit Out Into Poison, where he's just kind of just screaming this chorus, and it sounds awesome. This album is just a fantastic follow-up. Still my favorite album of theirs. It's impeccably done. It streamlines their sound not too much like the next album does, because they still have a lot of that reggae influence. And, I mean, this album is just a perfect slice of Skindred sound that kind of is universal to their whole career. I'd suggest starting with this album and then going back and going forward. I fucking love every aspect of this album. The band just sounds more crisp. Benji sounds very clean. His aggression comes out a lot more on the heavier songs. And the lyrical content's kind of expanding, because the last album was just kind of a lot of, you know, like rough up tracks. And there's some songs like that on here, like Trouble. But songs like Rat Race, which are kind of like being in trouble, and kind of being like caught into this rat race. And songs like State of Emergency and Alright, which are kind of calling attention to the problems of the world. There's dance tracks like Destroy the Dance Floor, which are just great fucking dance songs. I mean, there's a variety of stuff on this album in terms of lyrical content. It's a huge expansion for them, and I love it. Like I said, my favorite song is Trouble. And the third album they released is called Shark Bites and Dog Fights, which was released back in 2009. And this is honestly my least favorite album of theirs, and that's because, I mean, while it does introduce electronics into their sound, especially on songs like Stand For Something, on this, Calling All Stations, and even on their cover of Electric Avenue, it seems extremely streamlined for them. While some songs on here are really great, there are songs like Corrupted and Days Like These, which seem very streamlined, very meh, very mediocre for them. Their cover of Electric Avenue is not the best thing they've done. I'm not a really big fan of it. Same with the song Who Are You? It's very spacey and odd. But in that song, the last like minute, while it fades out with these electronics, it kicks back in with like a reprise of the chorus that sounds better than the rest of the song. The opening track, Stand For Something, is one of my favorites on the album. The last track, Invincible, is fantastic. It's got this great blend of that kind of Roots Rock Riot sound, and it's really very the same yet progressive for them. But the opening track, Stand For Something, has this big anthemic chorus, and the subject matter of the song is very, you know, for their fans, it seems like. And that song just starts off the end well, but then that leads into the song You Can't Stop It, which is just very dissatisfying. There's auto-tune in it, which is very, it irks me, but in comparison to the opening, it's kind of a huge letdown. The album kind of gets progressively meh as it goes on, and then there's some great tracks, like Calling All Stations has this fantastic Babylon sound to it, and there's a great solo in it. But other than that, I mean, it's okay. I'd probably listen to it last, to be honest. I'd listen to Roots Rock Riot, then Babylon, then their newest album, then this, because it's a letdown from this great band that I love. This is the album to follow what I started with them, and it was really disheartening for me. But my favorite song is Invincible. That is a great song, and as always, in the end of thingy, let's move on to really some of their best work, shall we? And the latest album they released this year was called Union Black, which was released back in April in the UK, and June everywhere else in the world but the US. It's still not out here, and I really hate that. I want this album here in America so I can have it in my hands. Most of it was on YouTube. A lot of it was taken down for some reason, but I've linked in the end of the thing a playlist that has 9 of the 12 songs that are on the album. Hopefully it gets a US release date. I'd really love to have this album in my physical possession. I'd love to go out and support this band by buying this album, because this is some of their best work. Roots Rock Riot is still my favorite album, because that album was the one that got me into them, and you know, there's so much with that album with me that I had going into the rest of the material. But this is like the best contender for my favorite album with them. It's one of my favorites of the year. You have a lot more electronics on this album, on songs like Game Over. Cut Dem kind of has a soft dubstep breakdown. Living a Lie is this really cool electronic song. Electronics are all over this album. In fact, Living a Lie and Gun Talk are probably the two most interesting songs, because they're the most different for them. Living a Lie being this electronic song, while Gun Talk is this really, really reggae-rooted song. But ends with this electronic upbeat section, and I mean, you have a lot of just great choruses, like on Doom Riff. Like, I want to see the live so I can contribute to this live, because it just feels like it's a great time. I love every single aspect of this album, start to finish, so damn good. I'd be surprised, but if Skindred saw this album, please release this in America. Please release this in America. I want this album so badly. I think that they made some just fantastic work. The musicianship is so crisp. You got just a variety of stuff on this album, and I love every single aspect of this release. You've got heavy moments, you've got melodic moments, you have great riffage, you have some streamlined stuff. Really just a fantastic overall release. I'll have a link to the playlist, but I'll also link to my favorite song. Actually, my favorite is a toss between two songs, Gun Talk and Cut Dem, because Gun Talk I listen to pretty much almost every day this summer. That was my summer jam. Like, I love that song, but I can't link to that because that's one of the songs that's not on YouTube anymore. So I will link to my favorite song that isn't that, Cut Dem. Cut Dem's a great song. But that was Skindred. Hopefully you enjoy this review. Hopefully I got you into Skindred by having someone's perspective on that band. If it intrigues you, please check them out. Please support this band. They're fucking awesome. One of the few bands from Welsh that I've ever heard before, and I love them. So great. But yeah, you guys have a good day's life situations. I will see you another day.